Welcome to Elevate Your English.
Where confidence meets communication. Someone said something rude to you today. Maybe your boss criticized you in front of everyone. Maybe a friend ignored your message for 3 days. Maybe a stranger cut in front of you in line. And you said nothing. But inside, your heart was racing. Your jaw was tight. You were replaying it over and over in your head, thinking about what you should have said, what you could have said. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most of us believe that reacting quickly means we're strong, that staying silent means we're weak, that if we don't respond immediately, we lose. But what if that belief is completely wrong?
What if the most powerful thing you can do, in English, in life, in any difficult moment, is to simply not react? Today we're going to talk about exactly that, the power of not reacting. And I think by the end of this episode, you're going to see your daily conversations, in English and in your own language, very differently.
Okay, John, let's start with something real. Have you ever said something, maybe in a heated moment, and then immediately wished you could take it back?
Oh, absolutely. I remember this one time at work. My manager said my report was not good enough in front of my whole team, and I just exploded. I said things I didn't mean, and the next day I felt terrible. Not because of what he said, but because of how I responded.
That's such a relatable story. And here's the thing. When we react emotionally, we're not in control anymore. The other person is. They pressed a button, and we just responded automatically, like a machine.
Yes, and for English learners, this is even harder. Because when someone challenges you in English, maybe they correct your pronunciation in a mean way, or they talk too fast on purpose, or they dismiss your opinion, you feel two things at once. You're emotionally triggered, and you're thinking about the language at the same time. It's a lot.
It really is. And in that moment, most people do one of two things. They either explode, say something they regret, or they completely freeze. They go silent, but not in a powerful way, in a scared way.
And neither of those feels good, right?
Right. So let's talk about why this happens.
Maya, why do you think we react so fast? Like, what's really going on?
A big part of it is that we think our reaction proves something. If someone disrespects us and we don't respond, we feel like they won, like we're weak. We've been taught that defending yourself means speaking up immediately.
That's so true. I used to think silence meant I agreed with whoever was criticizing me.
Exactly. But here's what's interesting. In many high-pressure situations, job interviews, difficult conversations, arguments with people we love, the person who stays calm has more influence, not less.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Imagine you're in a meeting and someone interrupts you and says, "That idea doesn't make sense." Now, if you immediately get defensive and start speaking louder, people see your emotion, not your idea. But if you pause, take a breath and say calmly, "Thank you for sharing that. Can I explain my thinking?" Suddenly you sound confident, professional, in control.
And that pause, that tiny moment of not reacting, that's actually a skill. It's not natural for most people. We have to practice it.
Especially when we're speaking in a second language, because our brain is already working so hard just to find the right words, and then emotions jump in and make it even harder to think clearly.
So how do we actually get better at this? Like, practically, what can we do?
The first thing is something I call the 3-second rule. When someone says something that triggers you, whether in English or any language, you don't respond for 3 seconds. Just 3. You breathe. You don't think about your answer yet. You just let the emotion pass through you instead of controlling you.
3 seconds sounds small, but it actually changes everything, doesn't it?
It really does. Because in those 3 seconds, your brain shifts from emotional mode to thinking mode. And that's when you can choose your words, instead of just throwing them.
I've also found it helpful to have a few bridge phrases ready. You know, sentences you can say to buy yourself a little time while you collect your thoughts.
Oh, I love that. What are some good ones?
Things like, "That's an interesting point. Let me think about that." Or, "I hear you. Can I take a moment to respond properly?" Or even just, "Hmm." A simple sound that says, "I'm listening," without committing to anything yet.
Yes, and for English learners especially, saying, "Let me think about that," is not a sign of weakness. It's actually very natural and native sounding. Native speakers say it all the time.
Right. The goal isn't to have a perfect answer instantly. The goal is to respond in a way you won't regret.
And here's the deeper shift. Not reacting doesn't mean not caring. It means you care so much about the outcome that you're willing to be patient with yourself.
Okay. We want to give you something to actually try this week. Not just listen, but do.
Here's your challenge. This week, one time, just once, when someone says something that bothers you, don't respond for at least 3 seconds. Just breathe. Notice what happens in your body. Notice if the urge to react starts to soften. Then respond calmly.
You can even write about it in the comments. Tell us, what happened? Did you feel different? Did the conversation go differently than usual?
We'd genuinely love to read your experience.
All right, let's do a quick recap before we get to vocabulary.
We talked about why we react emotionally and why that often works against us, especially in English conversations.
We talked about the difference between freezing from fear and pausing with intention.
And we looked at 2 simple tools, the 3-second rule and bridge phrases, small language tools that give you time to think without looking awkward.
And the big idea? Not reacting is not weakness. It's one of the most powerful communication skills you can develop.
Now let's look at 5 words from today's episode, all at an intermediate level, very useful in daily English. Word 1, triggered. Adjective, feeling a strong emotional reaction, often suddenly. When my colleague interrupted me during the presentation, I felt triggered and wanted to say something sharp. Speaking practice question. Can you think of a recent moment when you felt triggered? What happened, and how did you respond? Word 2, defensive. Adjective, reacting as if you are being attacked, even if you are not. She got defensive when I suggested a different approach, even though I wasn't criticizing her. Speaking practice question. Is it easy for you to receive feedback without becoming defensive? Why or why not? Word 3, impulse. Noun, a sudden, strong desire to do something without thinking. My first impulse was to argue back, but I took a breath and chose to stay quiet. Speaking practice question. What's one impulse you often have during difficult conversations that you'd like to change? Word 4, compose yourself. Phrase, to calm down and take control of your emotions. Before walking into the difficult meeting, he took 2 minutes to compose himself. Speaking practice question. What do you usually do to compose yourself before a stressful situation? Word 5, deliberate. Adjective, done on purpose, carefully and intentionally. Her silence wasn't awkward, it was deliberate. She was choosing her words carefully. Speaking practice question. Can you think of a time when being deliberate, instead of fast, helped you communicate better? Before we close, I want to say something that I think is worth sitting with. You are learning English in a world that rewards people who speak fast, who have instant answers, who never seem unsure. And that pressure is real. But real fluency, real confidence, doesn't come from being fast. It comes from being grounded, from knowing that you don't have to fill every silence, that your pause is not a failure, that choosing when to speak is just as important as knowing what to say.
Not reacting is a practice. Some days it will feel impossible. That's okay. The goal isn't perfection. It's a small, quiet shift. One breath, one pause, one conversation at a time.
And that's something worth practicing, in English and in life.
If this episode felt like something you needed to hear today, share it with one person who might need it too.
And if you're not subscribed yet, we'd love to have you here. We put out episodes like this every week. Real conversations, real English, real life.
We'll see you in the next one.
Take care of yourselves. And remember, sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is nothing at all.